Hi, today I want to talk to you about one of the questions that I'm often asked by parents of children with selective mutism. And the question is, how do I let my child know that he or she has selective mutism? Or how do I approach the subject? I think that by the time parents come to see me, they have noticed that obviously the child has not been speaking for a while. And then they talk around it. They don't really say in front of the child, she doesn't really talk in front of anyone. So we're kind of talking around the subject. I find that it's really important to be honest. I mean, obviously this is not necessarily the way that would work with every child, but I feel that it shouldn't be a secret. And the reason why it shouldn't be a secret is because once it's out in the open, everything feels more natural. So for very little ones, I wouldn't say to them, let's say that they're 3 or 4, oh, this is what's happening to you. I would kind of use a lot of the strategies. But for older children, I would use a very simple language and I would say, you know, darling, mummy and daddy have noticed that, you know, when you're going out to the nursery or when we go out to the supermarket, all of a sudden you go from chatty at home and you go quieter and quieter and your voice hides away. And, you know, it's something that we have inside that is almost like we get quite scared and it moves up to the throat, and when we need to talk or we need to say something when we're outside our home, it doesn't really happen because we're quite scared. And you know what? That's normal. A lot of children feel scared, and the good news is it will not last forever. It will take very little steps until you will notice that your voice is going to come out, and perhaps you will be able to use and be as chatty at home as chatty at nursery or as chatty at granny's as much as you're at home. And it's just about little steps, you know, nobody expects you to say anything. We'll just see how it is. And I noticed that when parents have that sort of chat, almost children feel, oh, really? Older children quite like to know, you know, this is really what's happening. You know, have you noticed that when you're at school, no voice comes out? Give it a name, whatever name you want to call it. It's called the silent, it's called selective mutism. And it's about reassuring your child that it will not last forever. There are a lot of literature and a lot of books in terms of behavioural modification that helps the child understand what's happening. Certainly when I worked with older children, they liked to know, oh, this is what it is. Is it happening really to me? And we identify, I mean, do we have sweaty palms? Do our throat kind of blocks? Do I get really scared? You know, what happens? Do I start sweating? And it's kind of to start recognizing what's happening. You know, you're not saying it's wrong, it shouldn't happen. You're saying, I can see that it's happening. It will change. I can see that you're not happy, but you will feel more relaxed. So those are very little steps. As I said, there is a lot of literature, and I have put some books just below on the description of these videos. And I feel that being open, it helps brainstorming, especially with older children, and kind of identify where they're at and where the changes can happen. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me or to comment just below. See you the next time.